What makes something collectible?
Check the disc on that.
And also valuable too. We're going to begin to answer those questions today as we finish the hunt for the N64 manual here on Mort's Garage.
What's up, nerds?
Yeah. It's been a while since I've been at this swap meet.
Oh, cool. I gotta teach my kids the horrors of square corners on controllers.
Today I'm out hunting for video games and collectibles with my brother Matt.
Last time you saw him, his hair was short and nice.
Yeah.
Now it's just really coming out.
Right.
That's
a real mane.
It's great to be back, and I'm also optimistic that today we're gonna find stuff. Is your wife like, wow?
She enjoy running her hands through it.
Yeah, actually.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I mean,
Marriage tip number 1 for all the fellas out there.
yeah.
Grow your hair out.
Get
Grow your
yourself
hair
some
out.
hair.
Let's go. So today's big discussion is, how does something become valuable? Did you study economics at all?
I took like a class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we're experts, is what
Yeah,
we're trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah.
Let me throw it back to the garage though and dive more into this.
A collectible is any item that is worth more than what it was originally sold for. A collectible does not necessarily need to be old. This is what makes it different than an antique, which is something that is defined by its age. So what makes a collectible have value? There are two elements: rarity and desire. Rarity is something that is defined as a low quantity item in general. This could be a misprinted item, this could be an original item that was in a low print category, this could be a variant of an item, or this could just be a generally unpopular item that later in life has become popular. Rarity can also be artificial. Take, for example, limited print runs of physical copies of games. In addition, just because something is rare does not inherently make it valuable. The other ingredient for collectability is desire. One thing that makes items desirable is nostalgia, an emotional longing for something in our past. In addition, there can be a re-emergence in pop culture of things that once were not very popular to begin with. Take, for example, the advent of YouTube. At the beginning of YouTube, many YouTubers were coming on talking about old video games. This thus increased the desire to play old video games and thus made them more collectible. So as an adult, when I watch YouTubers talk about old video games I didn't know previously existed for a particular console library I was a big fan of, it's pretty exciting to learn about those games, and then I desire to play them and experience them for myself. This makes me go seek them out and buy them when I previously didn't know they even existed. Something can be mass-produced and therefore not rare, but still be highly collectible. Take, for example, Pokemon games. These games sold in the millions, but today when you buy them, they still sell for well above what their original retail price was. The desire for them well outpaces the even millions of copies sold supply that's available on the secondhand market. So if something is collectible, it has value. And many are motivated to take low-value items and make them more valuable than they originally actually are. This is where things get quite tricky. Someone is sawing right now, and I don't have a studio.
Let's go find stuff.
All right, let's do it.
Well, I'm looking mostly for video games. I don't know if you got anything like that. Morning. How much are the headphones? My girls have been listening to Spice Girls constantly lately, and I have this horrible thing to say. The only problem with those is I just don't know if they work. They cannot sing. Yeah, they're refurbs.
Who's your favorite Spice Girl?
The kids like Mel B because she's on America's Got Talent.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with what my kids like.
That's probably smart.
Well, Matt, what are you looking for tonight?
I wanted to say I'm here for a good time, but you already said that.
You want some headphones?
No, not really.
Soccer ball?
Maybe not today.
This looks interesting. Over here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look over here, we have... Oh, good morning!
This is one of my favorite vendors of all time.
How are you? All right.
Every time I see her, the day is just automatically better.
I can CD.
Oh my gosh.
Were you?
There's a lot of games. I'm gonna be digging through this for a few minutes. This is a possible one. Do you guys listen to PD at all? 5 each?
Yeah,
Okay. I was listening to him on the way over. Just so good.
I can more.
My gosh, spoiling me. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
Was happy to find a few games to add to my goodies profile. Naruto Shippuden,
Just grabbed these 4 games for 20 bucks.
Red Dead Redemption on the PS3.
They're all worth about 10 to 15 each.
the Scenic,
They'll go right to the manual fund.
and Nintendo Land. Not quite the Wii Sports I think they were hoping it would be, but still a really good game.
If you're interested in any of these, make sure to check it out on my goodies store where I'll have these up listed for sale.
Thank you as ever for the great deals. I appreciate you so much. Some interesting stuff at this booth. One item to sell and one to keep. Smuggler's Run 2, for whatever reason, I just wanted to give this one a play. I don't think I've actually even played the first one except for more than a few minutes back when it came out.
Endless Ocean Blue World.
This game series is known as being a calming, relaxing experience.
Nintendo Direct recently just announced a sequel to this for the Switch. It doesn't look that great.
It's okay, but really without the benefit of HD graphics, it sort of does lose a little bit, I think, of the wonder that the game is trying to create. I feel like it has a cult following, you know, of fans that really love it. Have you played Endless Ocean before, any of the games in the series? And are you looking forward to the new game coming out on the Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comments. The savvy among us can exploit rarity and desire to increase value in collectible markets. Take, for example, graded video games. There are thousands of box copies, even to this day, of various video games. But how many of them are graded at a 9.8? And when that copy of the video game sells for a high amount of value, then that increases the value and the desire all the more, which thus increases the level and stature of video games as an actual collectible, not just video games. And this is where things get tricky. A lot of people have a lot of nostalgic, emotional, childhood attachment to old video games, so when they see other people coming in and turning them into collectibles, it feels like you're not just taking advantage of a market, but you're taking advantage of one another's past, which leads to a problem. We have changed the definition of what these items are behind me. These are not video games. These have become collectibles. And people are pretty upset about that.
Matt, what was your favorite toy to play as a kid?
Probably Legos. Does that count? Are Legos toys? Does that count?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely Legos. Star Wars Legos especially.
You had a lot of Star Wars Legos.
Yeah. I kept my Y-Wing as an adult because why wouldn't you?
Just spit everywhere. That's gross.
You do 30?
This Harley Quinn statue is really cool. It is brand new. Unfortunately, the box has some, water damage here on the back. However, that seal is still in perfect shape.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Amber from Young Treasures is a Harley Quinn cosplayer. Anytime I see Harley Quinn now, I just think of them, her and her husband. If I collected statues, this is something that I would definitely not want to get rid of.
Oh, small one?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to see it.
Oh, sure. Oh, that's cool. 30 as well?
This Speed Racer set is brand new. He only wanted 20 bucks for it. It goes for about 100.
I normally don't get toys and figures, but this one was 35, and she went for 30 on it. It looks like brand new. It's selling for about 120.
But this is just so cool that I thought, if nothing else, I'll bring it with me to an event and try and sell it for a little cheaper than it goes for.
The Speed Racer guy is $20, and also a killer value on this one. Looks like it goes for about 100.
Brand new, factory seal. This is from 2002. 2002 is not quite retro.
These are going to the manual fund.
90s and before is when people start getting excited. Although Blake has said that t-shirts that are early aughts and below are highly collectible. Toy collectors, you tell me, did I just buy something that's not desirable? I don't know, let me know.
Right now, Porchman is seething with anticipation.
Porchman, you here or what?
How much on the video game? 60.
Ryan and Brian are here at Daniel's booth, and it is always good to see friends at the swap meet.
You keeping it or you flipping it?
Oh, flipping most of it. Trying to build up funds to buy a manual.
Brian had a bunch of games for sale, and I almost pulled the trigger. Ha! Pulled the trigger. Call of Duty. Puns. I actually really enjoyed the Call of Duty series. I know that it's basically Madden for action gamers. Every year there's a new updated release that does some slight tweaks on the formula, and it's a little different.
How's the hunt been going for that? Do you have somebody that has it waiting for you? Or
No, it's gonna.
You're building the funds and then hunting it down.
It's gonna take more than a few minutes to find it.
Yes, there are problems. I hate the fact that every time I go to play some Call of Duty, I have to sit through like a 100 gigabyte update, but I just love how active they are at trying to keep the player base happy. But I also can admit that some of the formula is a little stale. Single player games, campaigns, are really hand-holdy through these sections. The tension is built around cinematic moments that don't necessarily translate well to gameplay moments. Call of Duty multiplayer has that one more quarter feel for me where I'm just like, one more game. One more. And the next thing I know, I'm up way past my bedtime.
It's like 5 Gs. Yeah.
A manual?
For a manual.
Dude, I could have had that one years ago.
I know. Same.
Years ago. I have even pictures of when I saw them, like 2 copies of it.
I got my game in a trade for a Wii U console. So I came up on that one.
Yeah, that's good. You traded it for a Wii U console?
I did years ago. Like at the time they were the same price.
Ryan did have the game Air Guys though, and Ryan is getting that. I just want to play that once out of curiosity because I've heard it's so bad, but people want it to be good because Cloud's in it and other characters are in it from the that are beloved from Square's PS1 era. But I've heard that the game is just rough. Any game that has mini games with hardcore mercenaries doing running games on the beach, I just feel like I have to try that at least once because that just sounds bizarre. I like bizarre. Bizarre is fun. It's cool. It's cool.
What was the question you just asked?
Why is the camera off, Mike?
Jeez. This guy. You bring him one time.
He gets free reign. He's my brother. He can say whatever he wants.
Nepotism.
Let's go. Oh, Matt. To my family, this is a Christmas tradition to watch this movie, and my brother and I mock the music in it relentlessly. It's actually really beautiful, but it's easily mockable. We're walking in the air. We're flying through the air. This is Aaron's booth. You have to come in here. So he says we've got this PS2 Fat for sale. Do you have any idea if it works? Okay.
I have learned my lesson. I'm not buying PS2 Fats unless they look like they're brand new or in the box. They just always break down for me.
Oh. How much are these?
That's $10 each.
$10 each? Okay. Grab these two Xbox games for my collection. I'm not flipping these for the manual. How much is the Xbox console?
65.
65? This MTX game actually just looked fun, so I wanted to give this one a shot. It's in like mint condition.
Yeah, it looks good.
Looks like an adult owned it and kept it in good shape. I don't just flip things, I play things too. I promise. I'm playing through Burnout 3 right now, and it is so fun.
I just like to play these games, and if they don't win me over in the first little bit, just because the mechanics of a driving game, I'm punning it pretty hard today. How do I say that without sounding weird? The elements of a driving game are such that you can usually pick up a controller and really intuitively get the general idea pretty quick. Original Xbox stuff hardly ever sells for me at events, but it is still, I think to this day, the best console to collect for. If you're looking for retro, the original Xbox. It's just worth your time. If you watch these videos of us Californians and the swap meet and think, how do I find stuff like that? Let me tell you about today's sponsor, Goodies. Goodies is the negotiation app for collectibles and retro video games. Not only can you buy video games like you would on many other app platforms, but you can go in not just as a seller, but you can go in as a buyer and you can list what you want to buy. This makes Goodies really the actual place where the fair market value actually exists. So let's say you list something that you want to buy and you list it for $20 and the seller's got it for $30, the two of you can find each other because your listings might be in the same category for the same item, and then you two can negotiate with one another to get to a price that really works for you. One of the elements that I haven't highlighted yet about Goodies is the verification system that they have. What you can do is pay a small fee, the seller then ships it to Goodies, their team of experts verifies its authenticity, then once they're happy with it, they send it off to you to make sure that you get the authentic copy that you ordered. Download the Goodies app by using the QR code on the screen, or download it from the App Store and give it a try. A lot of the items that I'm buying for this series end up in my Goodies storefront. Make sure you download the app so you can see it for yourself, and thank you so much to Goodies for sponsoring today's video and this series. There are, of course, other factors that contribute to collectability, such as supply and demand. We are dealing with a finite pool of items that is continually diminishing because over time, boxes, games, etc. break, deteriorate, or get thrown away. As the supply continues to diminish but the desire continues to go up, the value then thus continues to increase for everything. Variants, on the other hand, are quite curious to me. Take, for example, the NES 5-screw. As you can see right here, there's 5 different screws on the back, whereas most NES cartridges have 3 screws. If the front end is flat like this, it denotes that it's a 5-screw variant, whereas this has little clips here. That means that it's a 3-screw variant. It's strange to me that items that were produced in the original life cycle of a game console, like the original Nintendo, that some people will see original, authentic items and go, well, because this one has 5 screws, I'm going to pay more money for it because it's a little bit earlier released, more likely than the other one. Why does that matter? Take, for example, the game Gotcha on the NES. The 5-screw variant of that game right now on price charting is worth over $2,400. The regular 3-screw variant? $5? Or take limited prints of physical copies of games. Those games are not printed to meet the anticipated demand, they're created at a limited print to generate demand. Because people feel like, if I don't get this game now, I'm going to have to pay more for it later. Because if you really just want to play the game, you can go download it on the eShop or wherever else for $5, $10, $20 at most. So really, when I pull all of this stuff apart and start looking a little deeper, I'm left with this question. Why are collectibles so desirable to me?
Gabo is very suspect of LeBron. He's an MJ.
That's fine.
As a GOAT.
It's sort of a pointless debate when you can just appreciate greatness and probably either way.
Well, that's a too mature way of looking at
So
it.
here's where things get really interesting. We're walking down the aisle and I notice this clear case filled with Super Nintendo games. I'm seeing so many people around the booth that it just kind of seems like I need to think a little more strategically, because if I say, can I see that game? Can I see that game? He's just gonna get annoyed because he's so busy with other people trying to buy stuff from him as well.
How much for all? Everything you got.
Now, not only is there Super Nintendo games, but there's some Game Boy games, there's a Switch game, a GameCube game, and a PS3
I
game.
missed out today.
I bet.
I had the red ones, the green, no, gray one, the DS, the Game Boys, all that stuff. And
I was here this morning, but you're saying I never try to bother you when you're setting up, you know? 'Cause I know how much-
I wish I would have gotten there sooner to see what was cherry picked out of the lot, but still.
I mean, I'd buy it all from you if we can work out a price.
you know what? Add it up and I'll take it.
Okay.
He needs the space for other things on his booth that are more valuable than these gray cartridges.
You guys should have been here early, man.
I was. Yeah, I can see him from there. I don't want him to get lost.
Okay.
But I definitely want them.
A lot of the games in this lot are sports games, racing games, just general common titles that are not all sports games. Some of them are actually pretty good, but a lot of like low tier and mid tier Super Nintendo games.
You got 44, 47 games here. A lot of these are sports games. They're dirtier and more corroded than I thought that they were. So I don't want to nickel and dime you on it, but like, if I bought them all, can you do $5 each on all of it? Because a lot of these are sports games that are pretty worthless.
How many did you say?
There's 47 here with all of this together.
47. So why don't you just call it 45?
45.
And then $10 each?
So 450. It's more than I can do.
How about 4? Done.
4.
4. It's all yours.
That comes out to around $10 an item, which honestly is not unfair. That's a pretty good price, except that a lot of the games in this lot are sports games, racing games.
I can do $10 each on the smaller bundle, but I don't have that much money this morning for all of these, because a lot of these are like $2 games.
Oh, I don't know.
So, just being straight with you.
I don't know which ones I
Okay.
want to like cherry pick.
Some of them are actually pretty good, but a lot of like low tier and mid tier Super Nintendo games.
Well, what would be the most? So that way we just move on from that deal and
Yep.
This one, $10. $1.
Can you do 250?
I think I benefit him because he's not going to have to deal with this stuff anymore. He can get his more expensive stuff in the case and get that more in display for everyone else.
How about 380?
380.
He comes down a little, I come up a little.
350 and we're done.
I can't go 350 on it. I don't want to disrespect your time.
Yeah. What can you do?
250 is my best. If I could pick about half of them at $10 each at your asking price, and that would be fine for me.
How about 320?
I can't do it, man. It's just more than I can do.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you're kind of, that's why it's hesitant. Just give me 300 and this is yours, okay?
I gotta walk, man. I'm so sorry to do it to you.
Huh?
I can't do it.
You can?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Can we put them back for you?
No.
You might get more from people for like the Donkey Kong and the Mario and stuff. So
How about 280 then? We're only $30 off.
280?
you take Venmo or PayPal?
A lot of these Super Nintendo games are going to take a long time to sell because a lot of them are not high value titles or highly desirable titles.
All right, we're good.
All right, thanks. Next time, say something because you guys hit a pretty good one. I don't know too much about those things.
But at the same time, there needs to be something in here that I can sell and turn around and at least make my money back. That's all I'm concerned about. So here's the lot. There's a couple items in there that I definitely want to keep. There's a lot of stuff in here that I might not be able to give away. Like, for example, Warhawk on PS3. This one I'll be lucky if I can just give it away. Brett Hull Hockey, which if you have NHL 94, do you need another hockey game? You don't. I mean, unless you're buying this from me, then you need this one. You definitely need this one. This GameCube game might sell for $5-10.
And there's like good stuff in there. There's a Mario World. There's Donkey Kong Country.
Blitz is great. There's even a Switch game in here. Carnival Games. We played this on the Wii recently. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. You're about to see a pretty epic Wii video coming. But then there's also stuff like Donkey Kong Country and Turtles Follow the Foot Clan.
I'm hoping that I'll be able to do decently.
The Sporting News Baseball.
Hopefully in the future, if something comes up that he's selling, he remembers me and he had a pleasant experience.
The big highlights for me are Bubsy. This is the game, though, that I'm most excited about keeping for my collection. Power Rangers Fighting Edition. I loved, actually, the Game Gear version of the Power Rangers Fighting game. I don't think this is similar to it, but still I have this positive association with it. There's other random stuff, too, like Tin Star, Donkey Kong Country, F-Zero, Mickey Mania. That's a shooter that people like from Taito. That's pretty cool. Not bad games. This is why I took the chance on this a lot. But there is still a lot of stuff in here that's like, I hope that people are interested in this. Suzuka 8 Hours. It's not only going to be in my goodies profile, but you need to come to the next Buy Sell Trade event that's happening in Ontario, California, and then Bits and Beers in Los Angeles that's coming up the weekend after that. Make sure you follow me on Instagram so you can see when those events are happening. $280 for all this. I'm very happy with that, and I hope that the vendor is too. Thank you so much for the great deal and for working with me on the price. But the hits, they keep on coming. Our favorite game to play when we do multiplayer games is Mario Baseball on the Wii. We play that game every time you come over, pretty much.
Yeah.
So when we do Garbage or Gold together, we'll have to maybe play that one, I guess, just for fun.
That's just gold or gold, though.
That's just Gold or Gold. Fair. It didn't get good reviews when it came out. I don't know why.
Sometimes people are wrong, you know? Sometimes we're right and everybody else is wrong.
I would say that's slightly inaccurate in that it's not sometimes, it's most of the time. We are correct. So Mike was just a moment ago saying he and his wife are in a debate about whether or not he would buy anything.
That's right. 10 minutes ago, he insisted. He was like, why would I buy anything?
Not gonna buy anything.
Yeah.
Matt's making a purchase.
We're making a purchase, baby.
What are we getting?
We're getting Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the PlayStation 5.
And I'm gonna borrow that.
And he's gonna borrow it.
Michael always gives me great deals on stuff. Bro, I am gonna get these from you today.
I'll be all right.
I've been finding so much Sega stuff lately. You got your Terminators, you got some Cyborg Justice. Michael coming through on the deals. All right, we got Hobbit, Terminator 2, the arcade game. It's complete, Cyborg Justice complete, Terminator 2 Judgment Day complete, and Goblin Commander brand new for $60 for all of this.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
It's all really a bit strange. I wanted this game not to play it, but to collect it. And that revelation doesn't sit great with me, if I'm honest. And yet that's what's at the core of every collector. You don't buy Pokemon cards that are graded so you can play them in a game, or buy a graded comic book so that you can read through it, or even buy a toy that's still in great condition in the original box so that you can open it up and play it. You buy those things to collect them. A great collectible has the perfect blend of rarity and desire. But what's driving desire when it comes to video games? Is it YouTubers? The pandemic? Or worse, resellers? That's a topic for another time. I'll see you then. I'm now looking over here at the pile of things from the next swap meet find that I need to do the video for, and every weekend we're finding stuff out here. It's crazy.